Hey guys, I'm Shane3X, welcome back to My Gamers. This is part 2 for Victor Charlie on Veteran. Please read the description box, please have annotations on. I'm sorry about part 1, I wasn't quite watching the time and I did get cut off a little bit. So as I was saying, use your grenade launcher to take out the anti-aircraft gun. If you were trying to play for the achievement, instead you would follow the checkpoints. And what would happen is you would get a Grim Reaper, keep that Grim Reaper, and then use it to take out the machine gun nest, shortly after this part. So, what you want to do, once the actual aircraft gun is destroyed, hang back because some enemies do appear, your teammates can take care of that. You don't really need to risk yourself unnecessarily just because something's happened, so take your time, but keep moving forward. That's sort of the ideal thing. Now, a couple of enemies do appear on the left, down there where I'm constantly looking at. Also, there are still enemies where the machine gun, where the anti-aircraft gun was still there, so keep note, there are still enemies on that island, so do just watch out for them. Sorry. I don't know what's up with me today, but, as long as you pass the mission and I speak English, I suppose that really just doesn't count. Okay, so, what else is going on here? Oh yeah, I don't think I die in this mission. Pretty sure I don't. I'm not actually using Sony Vegas Pro to watch the video, I'm just using Windows Media Player, so I can't actually spot if I die. I don't think I do though. This part right here is probably the most difficult part of the mission, so as long as you don't die here, you shouldn't die anywhere else. Okay, this part here is the machine gun nest I was talking about. If you want the achievement, make sure you kept the Grim Reaper from the previous part, and then just use that to take out the machine gun nest. But if you don't want the achievement, or you didn't get the Grim Reaper, or you swapped it out for whatever reason, you can still use the grenade launcher attachment, that's perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure you can actually just use bullets to shoot the guy on it too. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you destroy it. That's the main thing. If you want the achievement, destroy it with the Grim Reaper. Your teammates will take out most of the enemies at the front. What you want to do is take out the 2 or 3 enemies inside this house here. Now they are a little bit hard to see, so just spam grenades, spam bullets, whatever, because you're not actually going to be using your gun for long. So don't worry about wasting ammo or anything like that. Okay, so once the enemies are dead inside the house, back up your teammates if you need to. By now they should have already taken care of everything, but if not, give them a hand. Like I mentioned in many videos now, AI teammates cannot be relied to kill enemies, so just make a note of that. Okay, now this next part, you get given a Python and a flashlight, and as long as you're paying attention, you shouldn't die at all, because there's only one way for the enemies to appear, and that's in front of you. And it is quite simple. I also don't use the torchlight.
Swift, with me.
It's not to show that I'm pro elite or anything like that, it's just to show it's not actually required to pass the mission, it doesn't change anything. It just helps you.
We'll make it out of there alive.
I also found out that using it doesn't actually cause enemies to appear at a certain point. It's cinematic either way, so doesn't change anything. So I would probably recommend you have it on. But I've played this mission so many times now, I know what's happening. So I pretty much turn it off. Can't really be bothered.
I will work my way around. Alright, we'll move quietly.
Oh, and it is actually impossible to save Swift, even though you can get to the enemy before he kills Swift, and you can shoot him and things like that. Swift still dies regardless, so nothing you can do about that.
Mason, you gotta keep your shit together. It's coming.
The only time I actually probably would maybe recommend you turn the flashlight on if you're not using it the entire time is this next room. But, you know, even then you don't have to. It's not required. It doesn't actually change anything at all. So, whether you turn it on or off, it's up to you. I'm pretty much just turning it off just to show you that nothing actually changes. It's mainly just for your benefit. You know, I thought if you turned it off, the Viet Cong wouldn't be able to tell where you were, or something like that, but that's just a load of rubbish. They know where you are. It is Veteran after all. But they wall hack, they have invincibility hacks against your teammates. Okay, once you killed the 3 enemies in this room and you walk in there, Reznov appears.
Where is your
And it's
friend,
more of
Swift?
the same, really, even with him.
We will mourn him later, Mason. There are signs of Soviet presence in these towns.
And this mission is made quite easy by the fact that there are checkpoints. What I would have liked to have seen is an actual maze where there's sort of multiple paths to the targets and there are different number of enemies and things like that depending on what paths you take. That would have been nice, but Black Ops is very cinematic and you have to take a specific path because the rest are blocked off, which is kind of stupid. You know, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, if you're listening, a little bit more of interactivity and freedom would be nice. Of course, Call of Duty is known for its cinematic moments,
I will follow.
but for gameplay, cinematic moments don't always mean fun. You know, just because it's cool running and knifing people and stuff like that doesn't mean it actually translates to good gameplay. I'm sure that if you've been following my guides, you probably would have seen that by now. I would have mentioned it a couple of times at least. You know, it would have been definitely more exhilarating if you had to navigate yourself, because here Reznov says, you know, not Reznov, Mason says, where do we go? And Reznov says, follow your instincts. By instincts, he means the checkpoint markers. They pretty much make it really obvious where to go. There is actually one tunnel that has an intel piece in here. If you can watch my intel guide for that. But, you know, that's sort of the best it really gets. And also make sure you hang back when you're reloading, because you only have 6 bullets, they have AKs, do the math. And that is pretty much essentially the end of the mission where you actually need my help at all. Thanks for watching, guys. This is My Gamers again. Please leave comments if you need help, or you know just want to chat or whatever. So yeah.
Quick, grab the documents, Reznov. We're leaving.